Collinwood. The year is 1897. Barnabas Collins must end a curse which started here in the past. And on this night, he waits, while a man who resembles a long-dead enemy attempts to draw a man's spirit from a possessed child and place it in the cold, dead body where it belongs.
I want you to kneel. Kneel! This poor lost lamb beseeches your help. This small, frail body, possessed by a giant, evil spirit, leaving the cold, dead body of what was once a man. Have mercy. Have mercy. The devil has been in this room and has looked with favor upon these two. The devil must be vanquished and driven from them before he can be driven from this house. He has taken refuge in their bodies and is using them against their will. Mercy! Have mercy! Have mercy, O Lord!
Why do you keep staring at that picture?
Because I'm thinking of Barnabas Collins and the time he lived.
Why?
Because there is some connection.
All I can think about is what's happening behind those doors.
All I can think about is what is happening behind those doors.
What if he doesn't succeed? What will we do then? Will they be like this forever? Barnabas!
Do not come in. You would only aid the devil's work.
We will not go in that room.
Judith.
We must do as he says.
Oh, Judith. Are you beginning to think that I am in league with the devil, too? As he puts it.
No.
I don't believe you, Judith.
I simply think we must give the Reverend Trask a chance.
The so-called Reverend Trask.
What do you mean by that?
I find it difficult to believe that any church would claim him. I wager that if you had him investigated, you'd find that his title comes from some obscure sect that he himself founded.
You have only been in this country a few weeks. You seem to have formed a surprising amount of opinions in that time.
If I'd only been here a matter of a few hours, I would have thought it idiocy to assume that a praying bigot could turn a zombie into a man.
Do you prefer to rely on witchcraft?
I want you to take his hand. Place his hand in yours. The spirit will go from your hand into his body. A force will make the spirit transfer from you into him. You must help me now. Your will must not ignore this desperate child. Let the devils within him return to the body they belong. I cannot do it alone. You must help me now. Give this poor fallen lamb the strength to purge himself give him the strength.
Well, Judith, have we given your reverend enough time?
Why do you keep pressing me?
Because I care of the effects that all this is having on poor Jameson. Now, if you cared for the boy...
Of course I care for him. Do you think I'd let him go through this if I didn't?
Well, your devotion is misguided.
You have no right to speak to me in that manner.
Someone must.
Grandmother saw fit to make me head of the family.
That's true, but what did she say if she found out what was going on in that room?
I'm glad she doesn't know.
Do you think that she would approve of the Reverend Trask? Well, Trask, have you failed?
You may come in now.
Jameson.
What's wrong, Aunt Judith?
Darling, you're all right.
Of course I am. Why shouldn't I be?
And Quentin?
Oh, he's just taking a nap. I guess he had too much brandy after dinner.
Well, Mr. Collins?
Well, I must congratulate you, Reverend Trask, on a job half done.
Barnes.
I hope now you will believe in the power of prayer, Mr. Collins.
Well, family conference. It's about time, I should say. Did you find her, Judith? Lock her up?
Mr. Collins, I would not suggest too much activity.
Who are you? Judith, some new flunky?
Quentin. You owe Reverend Trask a great deal.
Reverend? Well, have you told him I never pay my debts? I thought you were a doctor. Hasn't anyone had the sense to send for a doctor? I've been
I
stabbed.
think you'll find that time has healed your wounds considerably.
Time? It just happened. In the cottage. But didn't you find me there?
Dirk and I did.
Miss Collins, I was not aware that there had been an attempted murder here.
Reverend.
I don't think this should be discussed in front of the boy.
Who tried to stab you, Quentin? Who?
Tell him, Judith.
Did you? Did you?
Jameson.
Your Aunt Judith wouldn't have the courage, Jameson. She would only wish it done.
Sir, must I ask you to remember that you are speaking of your own sister?
Thank you, Reverend. Jameson, you mustn't listen to your Uncle Quentin. He's not well.
I'll be considerably better when someone explains to
If
me.
you'll trust my explanation, I will be happy to give it to you.
In some other room, if you please, sir.
Are you sure you're still in charge of this house, Judith? You and I, Judith, have much to discuss later.
Been like this ever since he came home.
That's not true.
It is, and you should know it.
Now, emotion will get us nowhere.
She always says things like that, and they aren't true.
Jameson.
Now, your aunt does not tell lies, Jameson. She has had much more experience in judging people than you have. Now, you must always consider very carefully what she says before you react so forcefully.
But I know different.
Now, there is only one who is constantly right, Jameson, and he is not on this earth, but above. Now, I want you to go out into the hall and consider all the wonderful things your aunt has done for you recently. I am sure you will have much to think about.
You may go.
But stay in the hall, Jameson. We shall want you soon.
Reverend Trask, I am more than grateful. I'm not a woman who's given to thanking people.
It was not my power, Miss Collins.
No, it was his, of course. But if it hadn't been for you...
I am grateful that in his providence he used me. I shall give my thanks to him privately.
Of course. It's still incredible to me. I saw a miracle.
But I have seen only a house in need of one. Miss Collins, may I speak quite frankly?
Well, you must.
I can understand perfectly why your brother Edward is so concerned with his children being in this house, racked as it is with violence and hatred. You have been kind enough to offer your thanks for my help this evening. I think that if you let me take Jameson to Worthington Hall, you will find a most desirable change in the young fellow.
I'm sure of that.
And indeed, in your niece when she recovers from her trip.
I have every confidence in what you say.
Then, Miss Collins, have I your permission to take Jameson with me tonight?
Of course.
I'm not going to your school or any other.
Now, young man, no rash judgments.
You aren't going to send me away, are you? Are you?
Now, Jameson, your aunt is certainly not going to send you if you don't want to go. Why, I wouldn't let her do that. Miss Collins, have I your permission to speak with Jameson alone?
Yes.
You will learn, Jameson, at Worthington Hall, if you decide to come, that we always discuss everything. Now, I have something I would like you to do for me. Would you take me back to your room? I would like to talk with you there.
Of course you will. You'd be delighted, wouldn't you, Jameson?
I guess so.
Well then, come along. What a nice chat we are going to have.
That man, Reverend Trask, he was my savior?
Apparently.
But you don't believe it.
I didn't say that.
Cousin Barnabas, do give me some credit. Who do you think saved me?
Well, I'm sure Judith...
I know what she would say. I want to know your explanation of my sudden, miraculous return to life.
You dabble in odd things. Perhaps one of your interests resulted in this.
Delicately put. What an interesting life I've had, don't you think?
I'm beginning to find out just how interesting. Now tell me about your wife.
I married young.
Did you know that she was still here?
A girl. Beautiful, quite talented in her own way. A girl of unknown origin, as Edward so succinctly put it.
Did you drive her mad?
Why this constant curiosity about my life? If I wanted you to know everything about me, I would make you a friend.
When actually you've been interested in making me an enemy.
Your fault.
I'm willing to help you.
Why?
Because you and I can be useful to each other.
Wrong. Whenever I think of you, I only think of one thing. What does he want from me?
You would miss your pony. And that's why you don't want to come to Worthington Hall.
Yes.
Well, then, you must bring him with you. What's his name?
I don't want to tell you.
Now, you're going to have to learn to answer questions, boy.
Why? I'm not going to your school.
I think that you and I should pray. Yes. Pray that the Almighty sees in his infinite judgment that you need his help in changing your mind.
I don't like you. And I don't want to pray with you either.
Do you want to grow up to be the disappointment to your father that you're going to be?
I'm not going to be a disappointment.
You're disappointing him now.
Well, I don't care.
Yes, you do. You must.
My father loves me.
Does he?
Yes, I know he does.
Your father is very worried about your soul, and with some reason. You must be saved. Do you want to be saved?
Yes!
Then I think I can help you.
Now, dear sister, where's my wife Jenny? Where are you keeping her? You've
had Jenny here ever since I left. Your sisterly love is so great that you wouldn't tell me.
Let me go.
Oh, shall I kill you, dear sister? Would that relieve your panic?
Quentin!
Your sisterly love is so great that you wouldn't tell me. Afraid that I would be disconsolate that Jenny's mad. Now, where is she? Why have you been keeping her here? And don't tell me it was out of family loyalty.
It was.
None of you ever accepted her here. You made that clear enough. Now, there must be another reason.
No, there wasn't.
Or were you clever enough to keep her here just to kill me when I came back? Because that's what she's going to try to do again. Now, you tell me where she is. Right now.
Don't you touch me. If you do, I'll scream. And Reverend Trask and Barnabas will come.
All right, sister mine. But I'll find her.
Now you know what you're going to say. Well, do you, boy?
I don't want to say it.
Why not?
Because then they'll make me go.
Stubbornness can be a sin, you know. Come here. I give each of my boys one chance. Remember that. Now then, what are you going to tell your aunt? We just went over it. What are you going to tell her?
That I want to go to your school. That I want to leave tonight. And I think that's best.
What a fine, sensible young fellow you are.
I cannot keep you from searching the house, Quentin, but I urge you not to. Leave well enough alone.
What do you mean?
Am I interrupting?
Oh, not at all. My brother was just leaving.
Miss Collins, I don't know your decision about Worthington Hall, but before you see the boy, I must tell you that, in my humble opinion, if the boy is not removed from this house immediately, I think he's in danger of losing his mind.
Quentin, you've got to help me. They want to send me away. You've got to help me.
Of course I'll help you.
Well, young man, your aunt wants to hear about our talk. I think it best you tell her. Now tell your aunt exactly what you told me.
I won't. Aunt Judith, he threatened me. He tried to make me lie.
What?
I hate him. I hate him.
Jameson, remember how we prayed together? Prayed that you would find the strength to tell your aunt exactly what you told me.
No, you're lying. You're lying.
There is one thing I cannot bear. A boy's dislike. Miss Collins, it is obvious that you must choose another school for Jameson.
No. He will go to Worthington Hall. He is getting more and more like his Uncle Quentin, and I won't stand for that. If you will come back in an hour, he'll be ready to leave.
I don't understand, Judith. You would believe that maniac before you would believe Jameson.
You're as insulting as Jameson. We both saw Reverend Trask perform a miracle here tonight. He's here. I'll go and get Jameson. Dirk is helping him pack. I expect you to treat him with the same amount of respect that I would.
Miss
Mr. Collins, is the boy ready?
He will be soon. Come in. Tell me, Trask, a curious thought occurred to me when I first saw you. I recently came across some ink drawings of the Collins who lived here 100 years ago. There was a face remarkably like yours.
Indeed?
Yes. Family history fascinates me. Who would have thought that such a short time ago there'd been a witch hunt here? Is your family by any chance from Salem?
As a matter of fact, yes.
That explains it. You see, an authority of our family brought in someone who knew about witches. His name was Trask, too.
Yes. My great-great-grandfather. A most illustrious man. He disappeared mysteriously shortly after leaving Collinsport.
Really? And here we are again.
We, sir?
He's gone. Jameson's gone. He's run away.
We shall find him, Miss Collins. And tonight.